Ladies and gentlemen, this morning my friend's well is in need of repair. I have to pull his pump up. I think it's only down about 80 feet, but it might be hanging on steel. And I used to pull those up by hand, even the steel ones, but in my older, wiser age, I'm not even going to try that crap today. I got this little white front end loader tractor here, and although it isn't the strongest little front end loader, it's definitely stronger than I was in my younger years. So if a younger Tony could have picked that pump up, this thing definitely can. Now, before we get started, you guys should probably know that well drilling companies are my mortal enemy. They are the scum of the earth, and I will go well out of my way to make sure that common decent folk do not have to interact with the tragic plague of black, rotting, bloody stool that they are. And I will continue to do so until my soul is drug kicking and screaming from this mortal plane. Now we got the lawnmower trailer, and I have to make sure I grab my $20,000 pitless adapter release tool. This thing is machined from precious metals, and only well drillers are allowed to have one. That's right, a Harbor Freight extension welded to a piece of pipe. And my $20,000 pipe safety lock. Only well drillers are allowed to have these, and when used improperly, everything just explodes. Your house explodes, your well explodes, your car explodes, your dog explodes. This right here justifies the price of a well driller. Yep, one more loaded up. $20,000. Captain. On the trailer, $20,000. On top of the $20,000 he owes me just for answering the phone. 5 miles, that'll be $20,000. That does seem a bit pricey, but because I'm a well driller, I had to drive that 5 miles with a lady pleaser in my bum. Stamps are on, that'll be 20 grand. Looked at the well, that'll be 20 grand. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. That'll be 20 grand too. All right, let's get this cap off. That'll be 20 grand. Using Hart Tools, bought them at Walmart, 20 grand. Oh yeah, she's on steel. I didn't show it because that would have been 20 grand, but I've already shut this breaker off. That seems a bit pricey, but I had to do it with a pineapple in my bum. Now, my pitless adapter removal tool doesn't work for this style of adapter. This one has a nut right here, and you can see the casting's broken. Now, you would expect to loosen this thing to get that pitless adapter out of there. You actually tighten this one. I'm going to screw this piece of pipe into here. You want to tighten it down real good because you don't want to strip those threads. 20 grand. I had to wedge the 3-point under the hitch of my car for that initial pull, but she's coming up now. Like that. Now, if this guy right here to reset. I got a bit carried away and pulled this thing all the way out without recording myself doing so. Once I had the steel pitless adapter out, all of this plastic pipe I was able to pull out quite easily by hand. There's about 40 foot of plastic pipe here and a Franklin pump. Unfortunately, that well is going to need a screen as well as a pump, so that's going to have to be an entirely different video. That's a bit more involved. But while I have you here, if you are a well driller, I just want you to be aware that small rodents and birds are sentient beings. They recognize themselves in the mirror. They are somewhat self-aware. They're capable of experiencing misery. So please stop putting them in your bum. Because I know you do that.